Hi, everybody, again. And I would like to tell you I'm really honored, together with my friend and colleague Svetlana Lukina, to be lecturer to this webinar. And in the meantime, I would like to tell you, in European gymnastics, we have this webinar today and tomorrow. In Asia already, Tamiyagi Kitagawa had the webinar with many participants. Our colleagues, Jorge and Maria Eduarda Poli, today and tomorrow, they have webinar with Pagu. So we are really happy as TC, we are happy to share the new code of points, information about this code of points for the new cycles are already done for every continent. And as I said, it's okay to say it again. So Tami Yagi did for Asia, I did for Africa. Now with my friend and colleague Svetlana Lukina, we are doing for Europe. And Jorge Filon and Maria Eduarda Poli today and tomorrow, they will do it for Pago. This is very important because around the world, as a TC, we would like people, judges, coaches, athletes, first of all, to have same informations. The material which we will use here are absolutely the same. And our technical committee members, and you all know we are not 6 members plus the president because some problems. We really worked very hard. And in this pandemic time, we did not have face-to-face meetings. So it was not very easy for us to do these presentations, to take decisions, to have expert marks. And as I will tell you, please don't be too hard on us because we tried our best. So the program, already Alina told you, is today with chair of judges panel and artistic. Tomorrow, 2 sessions with difficulty and execution. During the presentations, we have video, we have examples, we have clips. I hope for you to see them very well, but if you will have problems, we will try our best. We can put even twice every clip, but if you will have problems, everything is registered and you can see it again, or in FIG STS, and I will tell you what is this. In FIG STS, you will have all these materials. So it's nothing from me, from Svetlana, everything from TC, it is in STS program. I would like to tell you, for everybody, especially for judges, and I am really happy we have so many people here, coaches and athletes, and it's wonderful because we would like in the future everybody to understand and to apply this code of points. For judges, in addition of first directives, which was sent in December 21st, now you have the second version of online test directives, which was sent on 21st of January. Please read very careful these directives. For judges, it's very important because you have to pass online test. And there you have informations how to log in, when, and it's very important for you to be aware of this. So these directives you can find on this link. And also, please read very careful general judges rules, specific judges rules, and technical regulations. STS education program we are happy being during all disciplines to have this education program. As I said, in this pandemic time, it's been very hard, and that's why we don't have an intercontinental judges course. But I thought last night, and I said to myself, then it's much better. We have now coaches, we have athletes. They never heard the presentations from TC members, only the judges. So it's important. And as I said, we are very happy to have all of you here. On this FIG STS Judges Education is open. And as I said, all materials used at this webinar will be there for you. For new judges, because every country can register 10 new judges, please register to receive the necessary information, and you have everything in these directives. For judges with FIG ID, so judges who already were judges in the cycle 2017-2021, you go directly in this STS study.com link, and I give you an example. If a judge, how to log in. If a judge is born in 2002, you have to put your ID, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's an example. So your ID from the list and the discipline. You click on AR, discipline aerobic. Username, then you put your ID judge and AE. So be careful here without R. Password will be your birth date, your birth year, and plus FIG ID and AA. It looks like this, sport training system. It looks like this. So you have username, password, and you can see the blue circle in IR, and then you can log in. This is, you can see here in the screen, on the screen, is for every discipline. So as I said, we are happy, we are among all disciplines with this program. Already acrobatic gymnastics had their online test, and later every discipline will have the test online. You go in STS program, and then you will have all the routines from World Championships and World Games from 2014 to 2021, including Baku from 2021 World Championships. So you have all the categories, you have all the routines, and please, before your online test, you really, judges, you have to judge. You have to judge. In STS program, I will tell you twice or even 3 times, you will have all the materials, exactly what we present here, plus the practice routines. And you will have 7 practice routines in each category, in chair of judges panel, difficulty, artistic, execution. So you have practice routines with expert marks, and then you can judge and follow the code of points, and please judge by the rules. And finally, we have here the test schedule for judges, and this is for every discipline, but we are interested in our aerobic discipline. For every continent, you will have practice test and an official test. So aerobic practice test for our continent will be on 10 of March. 10 of March, and the official test online, it will be 17 of March. Everything it is, even this schedule, you can find it in the directives. The practice test will be about 30 minutes to 1 hour, and all the registered persons, judges, will connect to the testing program. And then you can study and you can see how this practice test will go on for the official test. So this is very important because FIG will explain you how to enter the score. I can tell you this is for judges. It's not, in our opinion, it will not be so hard. And when we will speak about difficulty, execution, artistic, we can tell you how this will be. What do you have to introduce in the computer? But you will have this practice test too. Then the results. The results of the online test will be only pass or fail. So nobody can upgrade from level 3 to level 2 or from level 2 to level 1. This will be impossible. So it will be only pass or fail. I think this will help the judges because to pass an exam, especially for the judges who already had this experience, we don't think it will be very hard. And the results will be sent to your national federations. And here in the presentation, you can see February to April because it's for every discipline. And already acrobatic, as I told you, they had online tests. That means they already received in February. For us, it will be later because our test will be on 17 of March. And now, until the results arrive, you can register to any competition with your brevet, actual brevet level. For example, we have World Cup in Portugal, you can register. And if a judge is level 2, you will judge as level 2. If you pass, you will keep your brevet level from previous cycle for 2022-2024 cycle. And new judges will receive brevet level 4. If you fail, I hope it will not be the case, you have one opportunity to retake the test according to the general rules. This is the reason why everybody has to read general judges rules, specific judges rules. The most important now, the directives number 2, version number 2. If it will be the case, if you read very careful directives, if will be the case, we will have a version 3 of directives. We hope not, but our schedule, it is like this, and I don't think this will change. Already our interim president of EG told you about question and answer. In the directives, it says very clear, if you have any questions during this webinar, please keep a note and send it to your federation. Each national federations affiliated to EG will prepare a list of questions for every section. Then you have to send it through your federation or your president of Continental Union. This will be the case for PAGU, for Asia, already the same. And you will send this to FIG until 25th of February. Then this is a deadline for questions. Why? Because we would like to give the same opportunity to everybody. And if we have questions from many continents, we will have the same answer for everybody. It is a new cycle. It is a new code of points. We have changes, and we would like to answer, not only us, all disciplines. I like to answer through the technical committee. And I think this is all for now. We would like to begin the webinar. And before that, because for us, for me, for example, I think it's the last webinar as TC member of FIG, and for Svetlana the same. I would like to wish good luck, a lot of good luck to Cristina Casentini, Vladislav Oxner, Anna Macanita, Desislava, I don't know how to say your name, but Kisha. Desislava, I want to congratulate you and to wish you a lot of success in the new job you have in the technical committee of aerobic gymnastics. And dear coaches, judges, athletes, I should start with athletes. Please try to understand the code of points, try to follow, and I want to see you in the future with in this wonderful discipline, growing, to have more competitors. And we know we all love this sport. And I really want to see, you know, our goal with a goal to go one day to Olympic Games. Thank you very much. I think this will be now, I will give the floor to Svetlana Lukina for Chair of Judges Panel.
So in this moment, I will stop the sharing with you. Okay. Svetlana, you have the floor.
Thank you. Share with me screen. Yes?
Yes, you can share now. You are allowed to share. Yes, it's on the screen.
But I lost the picture.
Do you see my presentation?
Yes, now, yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Svetlana.
Only put presentations, so it's a big screen.
It's okay, like
Yes,
now?
now it's perfect. Mhm.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maria. Fumia, very good speech. I'm joined to Maria, and I wish you good luck to new technical committee and for everybody. Good luck for athletes, for judges, for coaches. And now I am start our first lection, Chair of Judges Panel. Part 1, general information. For all judges and coaches and athletes, nothing new, a new picture about Chair of Judges Panel. You must know the Chair of Judges Panel must control all the work of the all judges panel. Execution, artistic, line judge, time judge. And the Chair of Judges Panel can declare the following sanction: verbal or written warning and exclusion from the respective competition. Here you can see new Judges Panel. Now we have artistry, we have 6 judges, and for execution, we have also 6 judges. For difficulty, the same, 2 judges, time 1 judge, Chair of Judges, of course, 1. And for line judge, also we have, like before, 2 judges for the panel. What we have for FIG official competitions? We have Seniors World Championship. This is a seniors. We have World Juniors competition, age 15, 17. Before it was age group 1. Now we call this age junior. And we have age group 12-14 age. National competition, we have national development, age group 9-11. For aerobic gymnastics, we have individual men, we have individual women, we have mixed pair, trio. Trio can be a woman, man, or mixed, and we have group, 5 competitors. We have male, female, and mixed. I would like pay attention to everybody that for World Championship, now we have only 1 man and 1 woman per country. Not like before, we have 2 and 2, and now only 1 and 1 per country. For aerobic dance and aerobic step, we have aerobic dance 8 competitors and aerobic steps also 8 competitors. For age groups, national development, age group, and here juniors. For aerobic gymnastics, we have the same nomination, you can see, and we have new for aerobic dance and aerobic step for age group and junior. Now we have aerobic dance, 8 competitors, male, female, mixed, as you want. Age group, remember, 12, 14, and juniors, 15, 17 years. And for juniors, we have aerobic step. Now we have 8 competitors for aerobic step for juniors. Part 2, function. Chair of judges panel must record the whole routine, control of the judges' work, deduct from total score, and of course check execution judges and artistic judges. Realize score after allowing time for the superior jury to intervene if necessary. If once the score are realized to the public, no change is possible expect in the case of incorrect score display or inquiry. Inquiry can be only for difficulty. Chair of judges panel must intervene when the marks of the panel are incorrect or impossible, the difficulty judges cannot agree the difficulty score. If difficulty judge ask chair of judges panel, then chair of judges panel must intervene, then score can intervene, not immediately intervene in difficulty score. Please remember. And a line judge has not seen a fault. Disciplinary penalties for difficulty judges, warning and disqualification. Competitors receive 1 warning only, and irrespective of the category, the second warning will result in immediate disqualification. Here, nothing new, but you can see something, presence in a prohibited area, improper behavior on the podium, disrespectful manners of judges and officials, unsportsmanlike behavior, the national tracksuit not being worn during the opening and closing ceremonies, and the national tracksuit not being worn at the medal awarding ceremony. It will be minus 50% of prize money. And now part 3, the deduction by the chair of judges panel. Seniors competition. You can see we stay with pyramid, but pyramid now not receive the score from chair of judges panel. But we have special requirement. Pyramid height of the collaboration must not be higher than 2 persons standing in vertical position. How many pyramid athletes can use in one routine? You can use as much as they want, but of course not very much. But not special requirement for how many, you understand? And here I would like to say you about collaboration. In previous cycle, during collaboration, it was airborne position. It was prohibited, but now in collaboration, we have athlete can have airborne position. This is possible for collaboration. And I'm continue about pyramid. You can see picture. Right pyramid is okay, or left pyramid, and right pyramid, you can see basic straight arms and behind one person. Oops. And the top also straight arms. This is higher than two person standing in vertical position. You understand? This is prohibited. For aerobic dance and aerobic step, deduction from chair of judges panel, 0.5 each time, prohibited collaboration, pyramid height, and for aerobic step, please notice, more than 3 collaboration in routine. Only 3 collaboration in routine possible. What means collaboration? Then one person support or holding other person. For example, if hand by hand, this is okay. This is okay. This is not collaboration, but support each other, it means collaboration. Now you can see example.
Along with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the lane with a singer singing in the rain. Along with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the singing in the walk down the singing in the rain.
Okay, how many? 8 collaboration. It means deduction 2.5 points. Sorry. I'm closed. And now about acrobatics element. We have 5 acrobatics elements. We have a round off. We have walk over, forward and backward. We have head spring, forward, flick flag, and salto, 360 degree, forward, backward, sideward, with or without maximum of full twist. You can see now cartwheel disappear. Cartwheel goes for transition. And here, please pay attention. Acro 2, walk over, forward and backward. This is the same element, same number. And acro 5, salto, 360, forward, backward, sideward. Also, this element have same, this is the same element, the same number. It means if in one routine, for example, trio, competitors used salto forward and later salto sideward, it will be repetition. Only one salto and only one walk over, forward or backward, athletes can use. But if, for example, walk over in same time, one partner do forward and the second partner do backward in same time, it's not deduction. But if several times during the routine, it will be repetition. Please notice about 2 acro elements, walk over and salto. Now we have example, round off. Okay. Next acro element, walk over. Please look, please watch. Okay, you can see last 3 elements not acrobatic. Handspring. Okay, last element, head spring, head spring. Do you remember it was in code of point and previous code of point like acro element, but now this is not acro element. And I would like to say you what difference between walkover and handspring. Walkover without airborne position, but handspring with airborne position. Flick flack. Okay, every acrobatics element can athletes can do with variation. For example, to split, to the knee, from seat, it will be counted as acro element. Salto. Different salto. Arabian salto, salto backward, forward. Okay. Salto. And now about acrobatics element. Acrobatics element can be performed with one or two arms, hands, or from one or two feet. And now in example, you can see different variation acrobatics from one hand, from two hands, from one feet, and so on. Acrobatics element must be used without repetition, including variation. Using acrobatics element as transition will also be counted as one acro, including variation. For mixed pair, trio, and group, if multiple competitors perform acrobatic element, they must perform same acrobatics element at the same time. For example, group. If in group, one athlete do acro element and 4 athletes not doing element, of course, chair of judges panel count this acro element. Doesn't matter how many athletes present as acro element, 1, 2, or 3, we count as acro element. Acrobatic combination is allowed only for individual men and individual women, and only one set in a whole routine. This is a new for individual men and individual women. Now it's possible do acro combination from two elements, from two acro. But for individual men, landing in split position from acro element is not allowed. Example, acrobatic element must be used without repetition, including variation. This is not acro. This is not acro. And later, flick flack and salto, but salto was with a mistake here. Okay. And now for mixed pair, trio, and group, if multiple competitors perform acrobatics element, they must perform same acro element at the same time. 0.5 deduction. Same. About last element, salto to push up. In previous cycle, do you remember it was prohibited move? But now this is acro element. This is acro element. You can use in your routine, and the chair of judges panel must count this element as acro element. For seniors, for individual men and individual women, more acrobatics element than number allowed in a combination, 0.5 deduction each time. More acrobatic combination than set allowed, and allowed only one set. If more, 0.5 deduction. Repetition of acrobatics element. And for individual men, landing in split position is not allowed. 0.5 deduction if chair of judges panel see this moment. Example, a repetition of acrobatic element. Salto and salto. Second example, in one routine, salto, forward, now salto forward. In one routine, it repetition, only one salto possible. And last athlete, Lucas, this is deduction for repetition element because two salto and first salto was in split position, landing in split position. This is also deduction 0.5. And this athlete received deduction now, I hope not for the future, but now a deduction from chair of judges panel 1 point. landing in split position from acro element 0.5, and repetition acro element salto 0.5. For mixed pair, trio, and group, performing different acro element. This is impossible. This is deduction 0.5. Okay, you can see different element, different acro element, deduction 0.5. Acrobatics element continue for the seniors, deduction for mixed pair, trio, and group. Repetition of acrobatics element 0.5. How much seniors can use in one routine acro elements? All 5 elements they can use, but without repetition. For mixed pair, trio, and group, performing different acrobatics elements and not performing same acrobatics element, the same acro number, as you know now what means the same number for walkover, and for salto we have same number at the same time. For age group, deduction for national development. If athletes perform acrobatics element at A3, A4, A5, it means only a round off and walk over possible for national development. For age group, performing acrobatics element A5. This is salto. For age group 12-14 without salto. If chair of judges see salto, deduction 0.5. And for the juniors, performing salto with twist and 2 acrobatics element together combined with element. This is for individual man and individual woman, 2 acrobatics element together combined with element. Not this is impossible 3 element in combination. For aerobic dance, seniors and juniors, the routine may include acrobatics and or difficulty element, but they will not receive any value. And there is no limitation to perform the single acrobatics element in whole routine. This is for the seniors and juniors. And please watch example. Okay. Athletes can use as much as they want single acro element. Aerobic dance continue for the seniors and juniors. A maximum of 2 acrobatics elements in combination set may be performed but must perform at the same time. Combination of 2 acrobatics elements is allowed 3 times for seniors and only 2 times for juniors in whole routine. And pay attention for men in aerobic dance. Acrobatics element, landing in split position also prohibited. 0.5 deduction each time for this example. Maximum of 2 acrobatics element in combination. Only 2 acro element in combination. Round-off and salto. Round-off and salto. And here the same. Okay. Aerobic dance for age group. Age group have a special requirement for aerobic dance. They can use acrobatics element A1, A2, A3, and 4 without salto. Salto considered as a prohibited move. And all acro element must be used without repetition, including variation. Performing different acro element at the same time. If all 8 competitors perform the acrobatics element, this must be performed at the same time with the same element. This is not compulsory 8 competitors. It can be 1, 2, 3, or 4, but acro element must be the same. And acrobatic element performed in combination for age group, impossible, prohibited. 0.5 deduction each time. For aerobic step, seniors and juniors, acrobatics and difficulty elements are not allowed. 0.5 deduction. Here, prohibited move for all category. Static back hyperextension, static handstand more than 2 seconds. Static handstand, but if athletes walking on the hands, this is not prohibited. Dive roll with twist, prohibited move. Salto more than 360 degrees with or without twist. And for mixed pair, trio, and group, combination of acrobatics element prohibited. 0.5 deduction each time. Here the same, what I say you before. Here examples. This is beautiful for rhythmic gymnastics, but not for aerobic. This is prohibited move. Hyperextension, hyperflexibility. And example, extreme flexibility. Impossible. Impossible for our aerobic gymnastic. Deduction 0.5. Example, dive roll with twist. Prohibited move prohibited, deduction 0.5. For aerobic step, prohibited move for aerobic step. Building the steps platforms is not allowed except in final pose if included. Propelling, throw in the air the steps, impossible, 0.5 deduction. Violently handling the step, kick and throw the steps to the other competitors in the air, prohibited, 0.5 deduction. Difficulty and acrobatics element, prohibited, deduction. And jump from the step to other step. And this is a dangerous, prohibited move, 0.5 deduction. And now we go to the dress code. Woman, for the woman. This is nothing new from previous code of points. This is the same. I'm sure you know everybody about woman leotard, and you can watch our code of points, and now you know everything about woman leotards. This is example. This is okay for the woman. This is possible leotards, combination. This is all leotards. It's okay for the woman. For the man, we have new. Men must wear two pieces, short or long pants, and a form-fitting top. Short pants, trousers must not be tight fitting, short pants must cover one third of the thigh length from hip joint. And now we put special for everybody about long sleeve. Long sleeves impossible for the men. We receive many questions because in code of points, nothing say about long sleeve. Now we put a long sleeve impossible for the men. 3/4 leggings, long gymnastic trousers, leotard and trousers, and one-piece combi trousers are allowed. Please watch example. This is okay. First one is okay. Second one not. Very tight and only one piece. Now we must have two pieces. And here okay. And here too tight combination, too tight. Okay. For all categories, aerobic gymnastic. Also, I'm sure you can see an aerobic code of point and you know everything, but here, only here, I would like to pay attention, you pay attention about aerobic socks. Aerobic socks now optional. If you want, you can use. No, you can't use. And here also news leotard that are almost all flesh colored are not allowed. It appears as nudity on TV. Here example about our ceremony. Only national tracksuit is possible for the podium. And continue from aerobic step and dance, leotard. This is nothing news. And here news for aerobic dance and aerobic step. For the woman, now possible skirt. Skirt that does not fall further than the pelvis area over the leotard, tights of the unitard is allowed as a rhythmic gymnastic. The style of the skirt, cut or decoration is free, but the look of a ballet tutu is forbidden. This is example. This is okay for aerobic dance and aerobic step. It can be different color. And for the man, it's okay, long sleeve for aerobic dance and aerobic step. This is more free leotards for this discipline. And this is from rhythmic gymnastic, but for us, now this example for the skirt is okay. And here prohibited leotard. You can see this is also skin color, look like nudity. This is more transparent material, impossible for us. This is tutu skirt, this is impossible. And long skirt, also for us impossible. This is bad example for aerobic gymnastics. 0.2 deduction for each criteria from chair of judges panel. Example, incorrect attire. Watch. Now leotard for men like this, impossible. Deduction for chair of judges from chair of judges panel, 0.2. Uniform national tracksuit, as you say before, national tracksuit must be wear for medal ceremony and for opening and closing ceremony. And now 50% if not wear national tracksuit. You know everything, I'm sure. This is from previous cycle. This is about national emblem. Every athlete must wear national emblem. In technical regulation, you can see requirement about national emblem. But if athletes not wear national emblem, deduction from chair of judges panel, 0.3. National emblem can be in any place, but good place on the leotard. For example, middle of leotard, middle. But you can use national emblem on the sleeves, for example, on the sleeve. Doesn't matter right or left head. And you can use also logo from your sponsor, or I don't know, but logo, you can go to technical regulation and see size of logo. Not very big, it must be. For the all categories, deduction from chair the judges panel is 0.5. 4. When competitors fail to appear on the competition area within 20 seconds after being called, deduction 0.5. If competitors fails to appear on the competition area within 60 seconds, 1 minute after being called, disqualification from the category in questions. For example, if athletes participate in individual men and late on the podium, disqualified from the category in questions. But if this man participate later in group or trio, he can participate in this category. Then deduction 0.2 from chair of judges panel for presentation. Athletes must go to the podium with a sportive manner, without theatrical presentation, and go to the starting position without something, without nothing, without with sport manner. Presentation fault. Example. This is a not sport manner. Deduction 0.2. This is beautiful new leotards, but look, watch after. This is deduction 0.2 from chair of judges panel. Okay. Music length. For the seniors, for individual men and individual woman, 1 minute 20 second plus minus 5 seconds. And for other categories, seniors categories, mixed pair, trio, group, aerobic dance and aerobic step, now we have 1 minute 25 seconds plus minus 5 seconds. For national development and age group, for all categories, 1 minute 50 seconds plus minus 5 seconds. And for junior, for all categories, including dance and step, we have 1 minute 20 seconds. Wait. 1 minute 20 seconds plus minus 5 seconds. And I'm continuous. We have infraction. Deduction from chair of judges panel 0.2 if our time less or more plus and minus 2 seconds. This is here mathematics. You can see this in code of points. And we have deduction 0.5 if music length less or more plus minus 5 seconds. This is also mathematics. You can see in code of points. And I'm continuing. Interruption of performance for all categories. Interruption of performance is defined when a competitor stops executing movements for a period of time between 2 and 10 seconds and then continue. It will be deduction from chair of judges panel 0.5. Example. Okay, sorry. A deduction for this 0.5. Interruption of performance. For all categories, as top of performance defined, then the competitor stop more than 2 seconds. Applies in all category. And this case, chair of judges panel deduct 2 points. Deduct 2 points. But other judges give the score what they see, what the athletes perform before. Also deduction from chair of judges panel 2 points for terms of in contravention of the Olympic Charter and the Code of Ethics. For example, theme of sex, violence, war. This is impossible. It will be deduction from chair of judges panel 2 points. Here, deduction. About this, I discussed with you before. This you can see in code of points. This is continue for the deduction for the chair of judges panel. And now we go to voltage group competition. Deduction for chair of judges panel, 0.5 each time. For national development, performing acro element, A3, A4, and 5. And performing more than 2 acrobatics elements. Only 2 acrobatics elements possible during the whole routine for national development. For age group, performing acrobatics element A5, we are remember A5, this is a salto, this is prohibited, deduction 0.5, and performing more than 2 acro elements. Also, only 2 acro elements athletes from age group can use in whole routine. For the junior, performing salto 360 with twist, impossible, deduction 0.5. 2 acrobatics elements together combined with element. This is for individual man and individual woman. Combination from 3 elements, impossible for them. And performing more than 2 acro elements. Also, only 2 acro elements possible used in whole routine for junior. And for mixed pair trio and group, combination of acro element, impossible. Deduction 0.5. This is deduction from chair of judges panel for aerobic dance. This is where I say before. In your code of points, you haven't deduction about age group. You can see additional deduction. A repetition of acrobatics element for age group 0.5 each time. Acrobatics element performing in combination 0.5 and performing different acrobatics element at the same time. This is for age group. Age group, it means 12, 14 age. Yeah. For aerobic step, about deduction. And we have extraordinary situation. For example, music sound inappropriate. You can see clip. In this case, athlete can repeat a routine. Yes. not her music. She goes. And after that, again, calling Cutlet. Announcer. Try again. And now, hooray, her music, and let's go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. If you have questions, you can send your questions to your federation, and we try to answer you for your questions. Thank you very much. I'm finished. Alina?
Thank you very much, Svetlana.
It's here.
Yes.
Good. Can you see, please, all the participants? Yes,
Yes.
good. First of all, thank you for understanding the participants and not to write these questions, because during the presentations, we can see all the questions on our screen. So it's not very comfortable when you speak and you concentrate, because we want to give you the correct informations. Then under the presentation, I can see what is this, how much is this deduction. So I know this acrobatics. So excuse me, but I would like you to have a piece of paper. You write your questions, and then you can speak even between you. And if you clarify between you, because I'm sure you all read the code of points. And because we had, as I said, not a very good time, we have as a TC errata list. This is important for everybody to read this errata list. And you can see here in the presentation, you have every part with clarifications. And I give you an example. For pictograms, we received these pictograms from FIG, not TC wanted to change the pictograms. Every discipline, we received this from FIG. And you can see for part 1, competition rules about pictograms. Then chapter 1, general informations. It's about judges who cannot wear now, for example, dark blue and gray for men, gray shirt. So it is in the code of points and in errata list. So from errata list, please correct your code of points, because what you have on website, FIG website, it's the old, not the old, but the code of points we should be posted. And now we have this errata list. All the corrections, clarifications are in this errata list already on FIG website. So you take your code of points and errata list and correct in your code of points. Then all the questions, maybe some of them already you will find the answers. And now we will go to artistic. You can have 5-minute breaks, and thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Olga. I hope,
Welcome.
yes. I hope everybody is back, and we will start now artistry. And already you can see for A jury, we have now a new name, artistry. New name and different way of thinking. We renamed this criteria from artistic to artistry. Okay. Good. As I told you before, we receive now pictograms, individual man, individual woman, mixed per trio group. This is new. And the main goal from aerobic gymnastics is to bring back the essence of aerobic gymnastics. This is the reason why we adapted, we changed. As Svetlana told you, for lifts, we don't have anymore the value. We would like to have more competitors to enjoy our sport. We would like public audience, judges. We want everybody to like our sport. We want to entertain the audience. And how? With the quality of the music and with the performance. We really want to have this on stage. We would like to give more opportunity for coaches, and as I said, I'm happy to have you here, to create memorable and unique routines. And the gymnasts to enjoy, but respecting the category in which they compete in. Function of artistic jury is to evaluate all the components of choreography. And this choreography match perfectly with music. We would like to see not a sport exercise on stage, an artistic performance, and with creative, unique characteristic to respect the aerobic gymnastics. And artistic judges, they have to judge not only what the competitors perform. Of course, they will perform movements, they will perform elements, acrobatic elements, collaborations, not only what. They have to look for how and where they perform. How, the attitude, the elegance, the execution, where we will see later, where they placed all these movements. So, function of a jury. And I would like to tell you, we received from FIG the number for a jury for category 2 competitions. That means World Championships and World Games. We will have from now on 6 artistic judges, 6 execution judges. For category 3, Continental Championships and World Cups, we will keep 4 artistic judges, 4 execution judges. But as I said, for World Championships and World Games, we will have from now 6 judges. Which are the components of the routine? In aerobic gymnastics, we have AMP sequences, difficulty and acrobatic elements. And when we say elements, we say difficulty and acrobatic. We call them elements. Difficulty elements, they have a value. For acrobatic elements, we don't have value, but all of them are elements. We have transitions, links, partnerships, and collaborations. You can see we don't say any more lifts. This will be evaluated as partnerships and collaborations. So artistry, look at the beautiful picture. Artistry, we have composition and performance. So the total score in artistic is 10 points. And these 10 points we will divide in two main parts. Composition with 6 points. And in this composition, we have 3 factors. These 3 factors include everything which the choreographer, the coach, the athletes, because sometimes even the athletes can do their composition. So everything what is inside the routine already made before competition. And performance with 4 points, with 2 factors. In these 2 factors, we will judge how the gymnasts perform on podium. So we have composition with 6 points, performance 4 points. This will come to 10 points. 3 factors for composition, 2 factors for performance. Composition, 6 points. We have music. And we would like to give, especially artistic judges will look for music from a different point of view. We have music with maximum 2 points, with selection, composition, and editing quality. This criteria doesn't have anything to do with another criteria. It's music. So you can close your eyes and you can listen to the music. And then after your practice, you will start to judge according to the new code of points and by the rules. Then we have aerobic content with maximum 2 points. In aerobic content, we have quantity, that means amount of AMP sequences, and quality, variety, the second criteria. We have general content with 2 points, which includes complexity and variety, and space. 1 point for complexity, variety, 1 point for space. Performance, 4 points. For performance, we have artistic routine with maximum 2 points, which include construction of the choreography, 1 point, and musicality. So as I said, music is totally separate, 2 points. And here in performance, we will judge musicality with 1 point. Artistic performance, the last one, 2 points. Artistic judges will look for presentation and quality of the movements. Now, artistic scale, it is from 5 to 10 points. We know your question. Then we only have 5 points. You can see in this scale for music from 1 point to 2 points, because every criteria will have 1 point already given. Every competitor or mixed pair or trio, if they come on stage and they don't do anything, they will receive 5 points. Then for every criteria, we start 1 point and then we add increments. We will add for poor 0.1 to 0.203, for satisfactory, good, very good, and excellent. For example, for music, if will be excellent, and I will give you example, this will be 2 points, 1 already given and plus 1. But in the code, you read all the time, we have criteria with 2 points. The same for aerobic content, general, artistic routine, artistic performance. For better understanding of the scale, because you have to judge and you have to put your score, you need to know the criteria and sub-criteria of each area of judging. For example, music, artistic routine, and artistic performance use the whole scale to evaluate. The whole scale, 2 points means 2 points. 1 plus the other 1, this will come 2 points. 2 points for music, 2 for artistic routine, 2 for artistic performance. For aerobic content and general content, you evaluate the sub-criteria separately. And I give you example. We have quantity for aerobic content and quality variety. The base, it's 1 point already given. They come on stage, they don't do anything, I have to give aerobic content 1 point. And you can see under excellent, let's take this example, 0.5 for quantity, 0.5 for quality and variety. And please pay attention, 0.5 and 0.5. These two together means 1 point, plus 1 point the base, this will come to 2 points. For general content, it's the same. And when we will come to aerobic content, I will explain you why we can judge very easy with 0.5 for quantity, 0.5 for quality and variety, 0.5 in general content for complexity and variety, 0.5 for space, plus the base 1 point, we go to 2 points. For the rest, it's very simple, 2 points, 2 points. And we have the scale for excellent 2 points, an outstanding level, for very good, very high level of performance. And then average level, 1617, low level, 1415, and unacceptable level, 1 to 1.3. And reference ranges, we have for excellent routines, we used to have the same in the previous cycle, 9.6 to 10 points, then 9 to 9.5 very good routines, and then lower good routines, 8 to 8.9, 7 to 7.9 will be satisfactory and low level. Now let's take each criteria one by one. So music. For music, we said we have 2 points and we only judge the music. The routine, our routines in aerobic gymnastics are performed entirely to music. And they can choose the coach, the athletes, coaches. Of course, they can choose in if they speak and they agree, any style of music adapted for aerobic gymnastics. But the music used by the gymnast should reflect the main characteristic of aerobic gymnastics, any style, but how? We have a specific music in aerobic gymnastics, and we have a nature of our sport. They have to follow the nature of aerobic gymnastics. Selection. A good musical selection will help everybody, for the gymnasts and coaches, to establish the structure and pace, as well as a theme for judges to judge correctly by the rules. Because these routines in this cycle, of course, we asked even in the last cycle, but we did not have everybody with a theme. This time, we would like to see a theme of the exercise. Every routine should have a story to tell to us, to audience, to the judges. And the selected music has to support and to represent this story or style. So it's not necessary everybody to come with James Bond. Somebody can have a different style. So we need a story or a style to judge these routines. And the music must be suitable for the category and to enhance the routine. We have categories, individual woman, individual man, mixed pair, trio, group. So if we have a group with 5 male, very strong, we cannot not use a delicate music which we used for 15 years old individual woman. or even for senior individual women. The music should be suitable for the category, individual man. And this, I would like to tell you, we tried to change some criteria for individual man and individual woman. We would like to see individual man strong, powerful on stage. And for individual woman, elegance, attitude, agility for everybody, but a little different between individual woman, individual man. So the music must be suitable for this category. Composition. Composition and structure of the music. We know we like very much, and especially the young people, dynamic, not monotonous, rhythmical, original music, and countable. But here you can see with beats or not, with beats or not. We would like to have music and to listen to well-balanced edited beats. We don't want the judges after 100 routines or even more to have a headache after the competition. We want well-balanced edited beats and original beats. We would like to hear the melody of the music. And something new, introduction of the music. Introduction of the music is allowed without moving. So please pay attention. The gymnast can start moving within few seconds after the audible sound, after the beep. So it's a beep, then 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't move, it is allowed. And then they can start their choreography. But if they have enough time, because the length of the routine stays the same, so the time judges will count the length of the routine from the beginning to the end when the music starts and the last audible sound. But it is allowed to have this introduction of the music, which is totally different than intro of choreography. So without moving, it is allowed. 1, 2, 3, it depends for how, from 4 to 8 counts. If they will have time to have the full choreography with all the criteria and requirements included in the routine, they are allowed to do this. Editing quality. Technically, the music must be perfect without abusing extra accent and excessive use of rhythmical bass. That's why it's underlined. We don't want any more rhythmical bass excessive. So we would like to hear, as I said, the melody, and sometimes the music, the original music, some of them, they have original beats, which is absolutely perfect. So we don't need to add extra accent or beats. The mixing of the music must be a professional quality. So we don't want to hear noise instead of music. And of course, should flow. We would like to hear clear start, clear ending, and the sound effects, if included, it's not necessary, but if they want to include sound effect, they have to respect the musical phrase, the melody, and to be very well integrated. It is recommended, it's only a recommendation, to use music with 8-count structure. We are used to count from 1 to 8, which will help the recognition of AMP sequences. The same, the rhythm of the music, it shouldn't be too fast or too slow. From the technical committee, you only have this recommendation from 145 to 160 beats. We give you an example now with the same music, which is in the first clip, excellent or very good examples. This music can be, according to the scale, 1.9 or 2 points for artistry. and listen carefully to this music. So only a few times. So I can read. So the sound is not very clear, but as I told you, during the Zoom and everybody in every discipline, in our meetings, of course, the clips will jump. The music you cannot hear very well, and everything will be in STS. And we have questions already when this will be. These PowerPoint presentations with music, with clips, everything, it will be very, very soon in STS program. And you can enter and you can listen very good. So here, this example was without extra beats, extra sound effect, just a few. That's why we said very good or excellent. And listen to the same music with loud accents, excessive use of rhythmical bass. So I have some, I can see already questions. I don't see the video. It's not video. You can see in very good or excellent music, you can see a happy face or all of us. Technical committee, judges, coaches, happy face. The music was very good or excellent because didn't have any extra beats. The last one, the second one, without video, of course, it was a face without smile, a little bit unhappy. So here, because the music is satisfactory or poor examples, we don't need to hear like this in this cycle. That's why you don't see the video, was not video, only the music. You have to listen to the music because the criteria is music. And examples of satisfactory and poor for this music.
Vestido de traje, lujuria salvaje bajo mi pie. Llegó la fiesta para tu boquita. Dai, dai, dai. Si te pido un beso, vendámelo. Yo sé que estás pensándolo. Llevo tiempo intentándolo. A mí estás mirándolo. Sabes que tu corazón conmigo te hace.
Here, abusing loud accent. You can read on the presentation. And the bass, you can hear the bass instead of melody. Beautiful music, doesn't need. Okay. So for the music, for music summary, we have selection, composition, and edition. Support and highlight the performance and give the advantage. So every category should have a music to support their performance. Appropriate for aerobic gymnastics, not to be monotonous, but not with this kind of rules cut between the musics, even if they use 2 or 3 kind of musics. Technically perfect, without unnecessary edited bits. And in the code of points, you have exactly this slide. It is from the code of points, deviation from excellent. When the chosen music and the competitor's characteristic and style did not match, it's not suitable for the age. You cannot use very hard music for a little girl, because this code of points, we had some questions during Svetlana's presentation. This code of points applies for all categories. So national development, juniors, age group, juniors, and seniors. It's not only for seniors. We will judge the same for juniors. And by the way, we wanted to change from 15 to 17 the name to juniors, because our goal in the future, it was, and I hope the new technical committee will support this idea, we would like to have world championships in juniors. This is our goal. And that's why you can see now in the code of points, not age group 2, you can see the title for juniors. So back to music summary, excessive use of rhythmical bass, use of sound effect or extra accent. This is deviation from excellent, not professional quality, mixing of the music, and extremely fast or too slow. The competitors even, they cannot follow the music. But this will be under the presentation. For music, these are deviation from excellent. Aerobic content, it's the next criteria, very important for all of us in aerobic content, with 2 points evaluation. We will evaluate aerobic movement patterns throughout the routine, but again, with adequate intensity. So moving very fast doesn't mean it will be an excellent routine. Adequate intensity. Aerobic movement patterns, we call them sequence or set. We used to have this question before errata, and now it is in errata. AMP sequence or set, we call a complete 8 count, which is a unit from 1 to 8. Complete 8 count of movements with aerobic movement patterns performed in a musical phrase. A phrase usually has 4 bars, and we would like to have AMP from first beat to the 8th beat in order to stay with the music. AMP, aerobic movement pattern, include variation of steps and arms movements. We all know this. We would like to see combination with body coordination, and throughout the routine, we want to recognize this aerobic movement pattern. In Appendix 3, you have the descriptions of these steps, of our steps from aerobic gymnastics. AMP, which will be performed less than 8 count, will be only linking movements. So they can do 1, 2, 3, 4 lunge, jumping jack, high leg kick, and then an element. This will be only linking movements. We don't count as AMP. The quality of AMP, it's very important, and it has to be recognizable as a clear sequence. We don't have any more A plus, A minus, so we don't judge like this. But in the meantime, you can use for this AMP sequence or set, you can use A, not A plus or A minus. Everybody has this AMP, and then we will see another criteria how to evaluate them. But we don't write A plus, A minus. Let's go to quantity. For quantity, 1 point. And everybody is concerned about AMP block. We thought very deep, and we would like to bring back the essence of our sport. Aerobic gymnastics. It's not rhythmic, it's not artistic, it's aerobic gymnastics. Consecutive and clear AMP, we would like to see, and we want to see the identity of our sport using traditional aerobic steps with constant rebound and perform without choreographic jumps. Through the years, of course, we tried to make it better and a very beautiful discipline, and we included choreographic jumps from other disciplines, from ballet, and in this block, we don't want to see these choreographic jumps. In quantity S factor, we would like to see, and it's a requirement, we want to see 8 sequences or 8 sequences for individual woman, individual man, 9 sequences because the length of the routine is bigger, for mixed pair trio group, and for block, 3 consecutive sets for individuals and 4 consecutive sets for mixed pair trio group. In this criteria, quantity, if they don't have, instead of 9, they have 8 sets, you will have to judge with 0.2 less for each missing AMP. If they don't have a block, 0.5 missing. Pay attention, please. Quantity. We said we can judge this quantity with 0.5. If the block doesn't exist, and be careful when you will judge, mostly our routines doesn't have a block because was not a requirement before. So already 0.5 less in quantity, 0.5 less. So minimum AMP sets, 8 sets for individuals, 9 sets for mixed pair trio group, 1 block of 3 sets for individuals, 4 sets in 1 block for mixed pair trio group. So I think it's clear, if they don't have a block, you cannot go to 0.5 for quantity. You go to 0. So 0 for quantity. now not recommended in the block. We give you example. So even air jack. So these choreographic jumps are only examples, but we don't want to see in the block of 3 consecutive or 4 consecutive sequences. We give you now example for a block. So how to recognize this AMP block? You saw in the first example, I think I want to put it again. You can see even chassé, and you can see variations of some traditional aerobic steps. So when in this block, it is allowed to do a chassé. One more time. Here. So in the second examples, we used the same steps. Artistic judges will still give a block for these consecutive sequences, even if it is a little bit more high impact. And here with really high impact and jump, we call a little jump, but it's a choreographic jump. We don't give a block for the same steps, but a different execution. This is a block. It was okay. So this is a clear block. This is still a block, but you can see a little higher the jumps, the steps, not the jumps, the steps. It's still a block and no block. So this depends on execution. So the 3 blocks were using the same steps. First and second, it's very good. The third one we will not recognize as a block. So AMP is the base of aerobic gymnastics. We would like to see a correct technique with leg movements, which will be combined with arms movements and which are essential. So combination of steps and arms movements, but with a correct technique. In variety, we would like to see all basic steps, not only repetition of jog, repetition of skip, repetition of even chassé. So AMP sequences, all basic steps during the routine to avoid similar type of movements. So no repetition, this includes in variety. Combination of basic steps and arm movements without repetition represents the style of the music. So we would like to see AMP, which represents the style of the music, not exactly the description from the Code of Points Appendix 3, because there are the correct technique of lunge, skip, jog, high leg kick, but then we have the music and we need the athletes to represent the style of the music. Then this will become AMP. AMP block, it will show the identity of our sport. We want to use the traditional aerobic step with rebound without repetitive combination. So we don't want to see 3 jumping jacks in one AMP, for example. We don't want to see knee lift 3 times the same in one unit from 1 to 8 without choreographic jumps. And we showed you example of choreographic jump. We want to see variety of sequences in order to avoid the monotonous, and we don't want them to be stationary, staying in the same place. This is not what we would like to see in AMP block. AMP block must be close to each other. And we had the question, how close? Short distance. We want to see them as a unit. And the most important here in this AMP block will be synchronization. They can use different orientation. They can change the formation. This is possible. And we want to see this because then we go to space and it will not be excellent. They have to change the spot in the formation, but we want them to be as a unit close to each other. And we have example first for AMP sets with quality, because we are talking about technically and correctly perform AMP sequences. So this is with quality of AMP sequences. We don't speak about blocks here. So these examples are only for AMP sets with quality. Now, another set without quality, and you have to look at the arms, if doesn't jump the clips, I hope. Simple arms movements. And here, no basic steps. Choreographic jumps. And here you cannot recognize the steps. So we speak about the quality of AMP, and we said AMP sequences are combination of steps and arms movement. The first 2 examples were with correct technique and quality of sequences. Then we had example with simple arms, so with not correct technique. And the last one, even you cannot recognize the steps, the basic step. So these are the quality which we are looking for. Now, for AMP block examples, only examples for AMP block for mixed pair trio group, same steps, and they are close to each other. Trio and group. So don't tell me these are not AMP because they don't use the arms. We asked them and they didn't have time. They didn't do the arms. Of course, in our block, we would like to see in the routines, steps and arms with arms movement. And they don't have to come straight forward. These are only examples. So they can go from one corner to another. They have to change the formation. And I would like to tell you, if you read the basic steps in our basic steps in Appendix 3, you can see the kick, high leg kick. Okay, let's continue. Clear AMP block and examples. We used to have before.
勢いがあります。
このチームは本当にセンターが誰一人ということではなくて、みんなの入れ替わりでしっかりまとまっていますね。
人で5年の3人組です。
So they used basic steps, they changed the formations, and they were close to each other. This kind of AMP block we would like to see in the routines to bring back the essence of our sport and to look beautiful as a synchronized mixed pair trio group. Synchronization, very important in this area. So the summary quantity of AMP sequences and sets, deviation from excellence, the routine show less than 8 or 9 sets complete. This will go to 0.2 for each set. Missing the block, we set 0.5. You will judge old routines. They did not have this criteria, this requirement. So missing block, minus 0.5. We go from 1 point, because the base is 1 point. You go to 1.5 if the block is missing. And then we hope for the future to have 8 and 9 sets in the routines, because this is a requirement. And if they will have the block, then it's easier if they miss one AMP sequence to go 0.2 less for each sequence. You cannot go under 0 in this moment. It's 0 for quantity. Quality, we need perfect technique, variety and coordination, arms and steps. Low level of body coordination is a deviation from excellent. Missing basic steps, only jog, running from one corner to another, it's low level of coordination. Lack of different arms and leg actions, and not very clear shape of steps. Sometimes they do knee lift or jumping jack, but we cannot recognize. And robotic and repetitive movements. We were criticized many times. Why are you so robotic? Why you jump like this and you use your arms so robotic? So this will be deviation from excellent if we will see robotic and repetitive movements. And the same, it's a deviation from excellent, not to change the rhythm in the whole routine, if they stay with the same rhythm of AMP. So I hope it is a little bit more clear with the block for aerobic content. And now we go to general content. For general content, we have 2 points. What do we judge in general content? Transitions, link, partnerships, collaboration, and acrobatic elements. These are the movements which we would like to judge in artistic. We don't have the same. We have G for transition. We use G for transition and link movements or a block of movements, movements. And we will use C, I mean, you will use as artistic judge, C for each collaboration with physical contact. From lifts, now we don't have value for the lifts. We have collaborations and we have a requirement. Collaborations, that's why we do artistic after the chair of judges panel. Me and Svetlana, we consider after the chair, we can go to artistry because tomorrow difficulty and executions are more linked, and artistry is linked now to chair of judges panel. So each collaboration has to have physical contact. So the gymnasts need a help from another gymnast or 2 or 5 or 3 in group, doesn't matter. So they need this support. That means physical contact, and this is a collaboration. We have partnerships. Partnerships, they look to each other, they touch each other on the floor with a feet on the floor, both of them, or 3 or 4. This will be partnerships. But collaboration, what we want to see and to judge, it is with physical contact, lifted from the floor. But we don't say a lift, we say collaboration. When a movement is complex, when many body parts are involved and requires coordination, of course, these movements need technical ability and physical capacity, physical preparation. Remember, it has to be dynamic, it has to be unpredictable, and to have fluidity. Our routines from the beginning to the end, we want to see them, all the movements with fluidity, with agility. So in general content, for complexity and variety, with 1 point, we want to see this kind of movements, complex movements. Excellent routines must show different types of movements, different actions, form, physical capacity in transitions and linking. The same in partnership and collaborations. And we have examples with the same get off collaboration, get out of the collaboration. So we want to see different actions in transitions, in linking, not roles. General content have to be meaningful. It has to fit with the music, and we would like to see unique movements inside the routine. We used to ask them for G+. Everybody understood if they do roll, handstand, and another roll, it will be G+. It was not what the TC, it was not the direction which we wanted. So now we ask them this G, doesn't need to be long, but many interesting movements, spread out the routine. This will be in general content, complexity and variety, under complexity and variety. So it will highlight the performance, and this will do a piece of art, what we would like to see on stage. Connection from one movement to another. It has to be smooth, fluent, and without unnecessary poses. Our aerobic gymnastics is a different discipline. We don't have to stay like artistic, even they don't stay now in the corner to wait and to go through the tumbling. So without unnecessary poses in between movements. We have now examples for general content with variety and fluidity. Now in mixed pair, it's a big advantage. They work as a pair. beautiful partnerships. And variety in using them. Now is the theme. We ask them for theme or style. Collaboration. So different variety and fluidity in general content, using different capacities, using different exit and entry, using different movements for transitions and linking. So if you will see significantly repetitive 3-4 rolls and handstand, and then again to receive variety, complexity, scale for very good and excellent, this will not be the case. You have to judge minus 0.2 in complexity and variety in general content. General content. And repetitive and similar, for example, in this clip, you can see. So similar forms. Same transitions, repetitive. Collaboration, the same. Collaboration again. But similar exit. So you can see these are deviations from excellent or very good general content. Oops. No, next. Okay. Complexity variety, you will judge 1 point for this criteria, sub-criteria for general content. For individuals, we need complexity factor, which must be balanced, different lengths of transitions, of course, using different physical capacity for movements in transitions and linking, and no repetition of the same type of movements. When they finish one element, not the same type of standing up. For mixed pair trio group, requirements, minimum 3 collaboration with physical contact. Rest of the transitions, links, partnership must be balanced and gives the advantage to the routine. Transitions and partnerships, we already spoke about this. It can be as many as you want, and it will be wonderful to have partnerships, but collaborations minimum 3. If they do more than 3, it is okay. No deduction to do more than 3 collaborations. In general content, the second sub-criteria is space, use of the competition area. The traveling on our space must be in all directions, forward, backward, laterally, diagonally, and circular. Especially in group, they have to cover the surface. We want to see long and short distances, but without repetition of the similar traces. Sometimes the athletes, they think it's wonderful to go from one corner to another with the same to the right, from the right to the left. They do something, transitions or link or element, and then they go again for the same traces. We don't want to see this. They have to use effective throughout the routine, the competition area, and that means the choreography will be well balanced. If they use only the corners or center, the same, this will not be excellent or very good. All area of the competition space. So we have floor work, surface work, we have airborne phase. They have to use all this area, of course, and they have to use 10 by 10 and centrum. Formation changes. When a competitors change their position in one formation, or they move into a completely different place, this is a formation change. Except the block, we want to see distances between the gymnasts, close versus far. We want to see different distances with AMP sequences. We want to see different gymnasts, not, for example, in trio or in group. If we have a group with 4 boys and 1 girl, the girl always in the middle. We would like to see, to change the spot in the formation. And we want to see AMP throughout the routine. We want to see transitions and or any other movements. The formation must be fluent, not running. The formation changes can be fluent and very beautiful. Different formations and different position of the teammates. It has to be shown during the routine. So all 3 levels, floor work, standing, airborne of the competition must be used. Movements must be placed in a balanced way in the competition space, not in centrum for elements, not the same place for the 3 collaborations. Not, for example, if they do, of course, a combination of elements, it's a combination of elements, but they have to spread out all the movements, collaboration, partnerships, elements. The movement must be placed in a balanced way. Not more than 32 counts on the floor, and here with red you can see, except the AMP block, because they will stay for AMP block 32 counts. For group, mixed pair, group, and trio, they have to do 4/8. And for space, we have examples, a clip with low level use of space. Now you can see elements, how many? But again, and now formations, no variety. So for group only 7 by 7. They have to use, we said, all the area and the space. So for this kind of using the space, your score cannot be excellent or very good. For these examples, is low level of use the space. So satisfactory. Sometimes you can go to good if there is some other criteria, but these examples are for low level of space. Use the space. Now, high level. Let's see how they use the space and the formation. Smooth formation changes. From one formation to another, very beautiful. And in aerobic dance. So when you'll go, you'll log in on STS, all these examples are there, and you can see even from this presentation, we wrote for every clip the mistake or the good level for general or for space or deviation for this criteria with low level. So you will understand very well what we mean. So summary for general context, content, simple movements versus complex movements. You can see immediately if it's complex with all body language, with steps, arms, or different technical skills. Meaningful transitions, links, partnerships, and collaborations, or repetition of movements. So this is for complexity and variety. Deviation from excellent, lack of complexity, linking movements without meaning, This part is really from the code of points. You can read from the code of points. If you will see same type of transitions linking, you go directly in this area -0, 2. If they are trying to perform difficult movements, but they are not able to do it, this is another deviation from excellent. For less than 3 collaborations, the deduction is not a deduction, but it's judgment in artistic, 0.2 less if they have less than 3 collaborations. One more time, collaborations with physical contact, helping each other off the floor. For excessive poses or preparation, this is another deviation from excellent. Or using acrobatic. They do elements, they do transition, or they do AMP sequences, and suddenly one acrobatic element without meaning. So this is a deviation from excellent. For space, if they travel without AMP sequences, use of the this is the summary, sorry. Traveling should be with AMP sequences to use the competition area on all the levels, different formations with distance far versus short distances, except AMP block, which should be close to each other, and well-balanced structure of the routine. It should be in general content for space to put the movements all over the place the movements. And deviations, the competitors did not travel with AMP sequences, they just running. Groups only cover, like in our example, 7 by 7, except AMP block elements are packing. We had the example. And in general content, if they perform collaborations or partnership in the same zone, or they use the space with the predomination use of the competition area. This is deviation. If they perform the same one level for a long time on the surface, we said, like we used to have G+, the same deviation from excellent. So this was about general content. And now for artistic routine, we have 2 points. All the components of the, I would like to add for general content, the same, you will judge 0.5 for space, 0.5 for collaborations and transitions and link. So if they will have less collaboration from 0.5, you go 0.2 less. So if they have excellent space, it's 0.5 plus 1 the base, it's 1.5 if the space is excellent. If the space is not excellent, it's only good, it's 1.3. And then for the rest, 0.5, if all the collaborations are perfect and everything in general content, it's with transition links, everything with a meaning, then you go to very good or excellent. Then 0.4 plus 0.3, let's say, it will become 1.7. These are only examples from me to you how to judge your routines. But you will see in our examples, in practice routines, we have practice routines in STS with all clarification and explanations. Artistic routine, 2 points. All the components of the choreography must fit perfectly together to transform a sport exercise into an artistic performance. When we watch different sports, we like them very much. We all call them sports, skating, rhythmic gymnastics, different kind of sports. But for aerobic gymnastics, we would like to see on stage an artistic performance. That's why we have artistic routine. And here we have the choreography, which should be unique, memorable, with high level of execution. Now we come to execution and to artistic performance. Everything else until now maybe was the duty of choreographer, coaches, or athletes. From now on, it's only for athletes. Please listen very careful, dear athletes. We want you to perform on stage an artistic piece of art, unique, memorable routines with high level of execution. We need to see original, creative. We want to see theme of the exercise, and this theme match perfectly with the music, selected music. Movements, different movements with natural and genuine expression. So this is very important. We would like to see our athletes performing with natural expression. Opening of the choreography starts with the first movement of the competitor. When I spoke about music, I said the music can start 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. They cannot move if they want. And after that, the choreography starts. So the opening of the choreography starts with the first movement of the competitor. Now we have a new word, intro. Intro means any other movements other than elements. And when we say elements, this applies for difficulty elements and acrobatic elements. So our opening or intro in choreography should be with any other movements other than elements. For construction of choreography, we have 1 point with requirements. Routine, a small piece of art. All the routine components match perfectly with the music and the theme or style. As we said, it's not necessary to be a theme, but a style. All the gymnasts, they can have their own style and they can present very beautiful on stage if they have a different style or a theme. This intro 4 to 8 counts with or without movements. If they start the music, start without movements, it's okay, it's the opening, but intro for choreography, it has to be with creative, original movements and other than acrobatic elements or difficulty elements. If they start with collaboration, this is very good. This will be considered as intro. If acrobatic elements they use in the collaboration, this will not be considered starting the routine, the choreography of the routine with acrobatic movement. This will be collaboration. Here is written without, doesn't have to start the routine with single acrobatic elements or difficulty element. Construction of the choreography requires memorable impression to the people. Sometimes we watch a routine and in my mind or your mind will be, oh, I want to see this routine 5 times. I want to see it again. Sometimes we say, oh my God, doesn't finish this routine. So I want to finish it because it's not a memorable impression. So artistic routine start and then directly with an element. In this scale for artistic routine, you will go lower 0.2. So the routine start with an element, directly I go from 1 point to 0.8, so minus 0.2 directly. And we have now examples for intro, opening, intro for choreography, good examples. This is intro, then element, intro, then element. Intro. Same. And for mixed pair. And then after partnerships with element. For group, sometimes it's shorter, but it is collaboration. Sometimes a little bit too short, but we consider as an intro. From 4 counts to 8 counts, it is an intro. Without opening or ending. This applies even for ending of the routine. If the routine will finish with element, this will be deduction in artistic, you will go lower with 0.2 in routine, artistic routine. So, missing the intro because start with element directly. And now the ending. Element and pose. Element. Now acrobatic element. It's not allowed. So element, difficulty element, or acrobatic element. Directly, the choreography, if start with this, it's minus 0.2. In artistic routine, now we have musicality. Musicality, we had the first criteria, music, with 2 points. We have now artistic routine with musicality. With routine constructions, you had 1 point, and musicality, 1 point. Musicality is the ability to perform or to interpret the music. Then they can demonstrate the rhythm, the speed, and they have to show the flow, the intensity, or the passion for this performance. Especially in mixed pair, trio, group, they have an advantage. Requirements: strong cohesion between the overall performance and the choice of the music. All movements should fit perfectly to the chosen music. Now we judge totally different. The music was with selection and another criteria, the first one with 2 points. Now it's about the competitors, how they perform in artistic routine, how they can use the music. The musicality, very important. We want to give credit to musicality. The routine must harmonize with the style of the music in AMP. That's why when we spoke about sequences, we said AMP, but this AMP, our traditional AMP, should harmonize with the style of the music. Arms movement, interpretation, they can use the head, torso. The competitor should be able to express their movements with body language. Choreography must flow, must follow the rhythm, the beats, the musical phrases, and the melody. In the meantime, they have to stay in different parts, staying with the music to be meaningful. Low level of musicality. We have examples for low level of musicality. which doesn't use the music for the movements correctly. This goes even to poor in musicality. Elements doesn't have to do anything with this kind of music, this part of the music.
I gotta feel this feeling that we're dying for.
I'm walking in the sun and around and around. I can feel love.
No, we go now to another level, high level of musicality. And when we give examples, we said different criterias can have different scores. For music, it's one score. For musicality in routine, it's another score. So this is high level of musicality. Movement matched perfectly to the music. And accent. Another example. Different style of the music. Different style of the competitor. And in mixed pair, using the music for partnerships, movements. Change the music, change the movements. Next. Okay. So artistic routine summary, construction of the choreography. Routine should be like a small piece of art, but in a sport manner. Everybody on stage, they have to respect the category in which they compete in. Routine should have a theme or to represent the style of the music or the competitors. It's a different style between male and female. It has to include original, unique movements and to be a memorable routine for audience or for judges or even for the other athletes. Summary of musicality, we need a strong cohesion between overall performance and the choice of the music. The gymnast has to interpret the music and to use different parts of the music with different movements and to have a meaning, And like in all criteria, we have all deviations from excellent. When they don't have a theme or a style, when they miss the intro, immediately goes -0.2 in artistic routine. Repetitive and common movements. Choreography is separated. They use the music as a background. Maybe they are off the beats. Maybe they have timing problems in, especially in categories mixed pair trio groups, and no relation between the music and what the movements are used. So it's the gymnasts who have to transform the composition from a well-structured routine into artistic performance. And here we speak about the last criteria, artistic performance. They have to use their personality, they have to use their style, and excellent way of using the music. So art plus sport of aerobic gymnastics or aerobic gymnastics sport, it has to be transformed in attractive message towards the audience. This is what aerobic gymnastics should do for the next cycle and for the future. So gymnasts must represent their own gender and age on stage. If you compete an individual man, you compete like an individual man. Individual woman, individual woman. Mixed pair trio group, it's totally different. If you have 5 men or 3 men, or you have mixed group and trio, they have to represent their own gender. If they work as a unit in mixed pair trio group, this is the beauty of a teamwork, and they have an advantage to be 2, 3, or 5 on stage. It's the beauty of our discipline, and they have to show teamwork. High level of execution in all difficulty and acrobatic elements. High level of execution, we will see tomorrow what kind of execution we would like to see, a perfect execution of difficulty and acrobatic elements. Choreography movements as well, with the correct technique for AMP, for transitions, linking, collaborations. And for artistic performance, with 2 points, they have to demonstrate musicality, expression, partnership, in addition to perfect execution. How a gymnast or group of gymnasts present themselves to the jury and to the public. This is presentation. And we have requirements. They have to share their emotion with the audience. How? With expression and quality of the movements, but not with a big smile in the beginning, and after that they start the elements and they turn the head and they don't smile anymore. And smile doesn't mean it's expression or emotion. They have to follow the music and to share their passion for our sport with expression and quality of the movements. They have to have attitude, not only on the face, on the body, with body of the gymnast too. Advantage of being more than one person, it's important, we said already, for mixed pair trio group. They have a relation between them, and this will be wonderful if they will show it in transition, in partnerships, collaborations. If we have, for example, in trio, as we said, 2 men and 1 woman, the woman can use feminine movements. The man should be masculine movements, with masculine movements. When they are together in the same category, if they do different movements in the choreography and they respect the gender, these differences are not considered synchronizations mistake. This is from the choreography and is very well choreographed if the woman will use feminine movements, delicate, and the man will show the power and the masculine movements. We have now for presentation some clips. The first one with low level, maybe you cannot see very well, but it was very nervous during the routine. If you don't see very well, as I said, you can see it on STS much better. So with concentrations only for elements and to do a good routine. No presentation. And low level of execution, you can see immediately. It's far away from a perfect execution. And another fall. Here you can see the fall, and then they lost the partnership, they lost the confidence. It's a low level of presentation. And I will go a little bit faster because it's a little late, but I hope it's very important. And now we go to high level presentation from different reasons. This is dynamism and precision. So no stop during this routine, no pauses. Beautiful expression on face. Here it's attitude and emotion. Creates this feeling of emotion. Through the public with emotion, she transmits what she feels. And now relations between partners. What we said about mixed pair trio group. So high level of presentation in mixed pair. Now teamwork.
I am the protector of the team.
They show they are a trio. And they show they work together, one for each other.
I repeat.
And they fight together. Good. So summary of presentation and quality of the movements, impressive routines, and you can see in the last examples, impressive routines, which captivate the audience. We want to see more and more this kind of routines with good presentation, with attitude, emotion, and unique. Deviation from excellent when it's not adapted for the individual characteristic and category. No clear and athletic impression of aerobic gymnastics. So low level of execution and in everything, not only in difficulty elements. When they lose the confidence during the routine, they are nervous and they lose the passion and energy because they have to finish the routine in their mind with good execution. Many movements are meaningless and lack of spirit of the performance to the audience, and unnatural or exaggerated facial expression. We still keep this. And when in mixed pair trio group, they perform as one instead of teamwork. These are deviations. And still in aerobic gymnastics, we have aerobic dance and aerobic step. And we include it here because it's not a big difference. In aerobic dance, routine should be visible different from aerobic gymnastics routine, as a choreographic routine. It is well-balanced structured choreography between aerobic gymnastics and dance. And for this aerobic dance, they want to use the beauty of both, of aerobic gymnastics and dance. For aerobic dance, the main goal, joy and entertainment. We want to see very pretty, very good aerobic dance choreographies to entertain ourselves. And this is a joy for the gymnast. Why we put it here? Because we use the same scale, but instead of AMP content, we have dance content. In aerobic content, we have dance content with the same scale, but here from 1 to 2 point. So the base is 1, then you go with the scale, poor, satisfactory, good, very good, or excellent, with the same criteria except dance content. Routine components, AMP sequences in dance style. Finally, the TC thought we can change this second style and we can use any kind of dance style. They have difficulty acrobatic elements only optional if they want to include, it's not a deduction. And the routine components has transitions, links, partnerships, and collaborations. In this aerobic dance, we would like to see a theme. Competitors have to tell a story in their choreography. And already in chair of judges panel, we change the attire, especially for ladies, for the gymnast, and they will love this, but they have to use their movements and body language to attract the audience and in a sport manner. The team must work as a unit, and we will give examples in aerobic dance with theme.
I'm Optimus Prime.
AMP sequences should be in dance style. So they have to respect the specificity of aerobic gymnastics. But this AMP already, we have them as a traditional, even with variations in the rest of the category. For dance style, for aerobic dance, we would like to see sequences more freely. So in dance, to use all the body and head and movements should be all of them in dance style in these AMP sequences. So not like aerobic gymnastics, but they have to control the body and to use variety of movements throughout the routine. How many sequences in aerobic dance? 6 AMP sequences, excluding second style. So minimum 6 AMP sequences in dance style. Second style, it's a totally different story. So now AMP in dance style for you to understand which is our goal. So they use body language. Dance style for our aerobic traditional steps. With characteristic of the music. So this was in dance style. Now you can see the difference. Aerobic movement patterns, which are not in dance style. You can say this is group without elements. And not very original. Same here, AMP, not in dance style. Let's go to second style. Second style is evaluated the same like the block in AMP sets. So absolutely the same for second style, which must include 32 counts to 64 and to be different from the rest of choreography, And any kind of dance styles are allowed, any kind of dance. But of course, should be well integrated and should not be separated from the choreography, but any kind of style. So not only street dance, second style examples. This is another style, not street dance. And another style. So this kind of second style we would like to see, not only one style. Okay, so we have the same deviations from excellent in aerobic dance. When it's similar to aerobic gymnastics routine, when you cannot recognize the second style, you reduce how much? 0.5. We said this will be judged like the block of AMP in our categories, regular categories. Where AMP is not in dance style, it's a deviation, or less than 6 AMP, the same like in the other categories, 0.2 for each set. And second style, when it's not well integrated, the same. If it's separated from the choreography, it's deviation from excellent. I'm sorry to keep you so long, but this is a presentation. We have to go through all of them because you will judge even aerobic dance and aerobic step in your test, online test. Aerobic step, 8 competitors. In aerobic step, the routine must show a beautiful unit between the traditional of our sport, fitness, and current aerobic gymnastics. With combination of step platform in many different and exciting ways. If for aerobic dance, the main goal was to entertain, the main goal for aerobic step, it is synchronization, beauty of choreography and synchronization. We use the same scale with, after music, you can see step content. Instead of AMP in dance style, here for step, it's step content. Same scale and routine components. Stepping actions with different orientation and to the step. Different orientation, but to the step. Formation changes and different way to carry the step platform from one place to another. We want to see collaborations, partnerships, but be careful because Svetlana already told you what will happen if you have more in chair of judges panel. So partnerships between the members of the group and the step, position of the step, use the step, it has to be with meaning. The routine and the music must have a theme. So we would like to see theme in our categories, regular categories, in dance, aerobic dance, in aerobic step, and should give a story to the choreography. Not only the attire, but the stepping, it's very important in aerobic step with creative formation, changes the step platform and with the music. The team must work as a unit. And now about the stepping with aerobic basic step throughout the routine in combination with arm movements. This is like AMP sequences for the other categories. But that does not mean we want to see repetition of the same stepping in fitness class. There are many ways to show the choreography, totally different, with different stepping technique. And we want to see variety of stepping throughout the routine. Movement must be to the step and involve this steps platform to the maximum. We don't want to see choreography on the surface, less choreography on the safer, better choreography in aerobic step. And must include minimum of 9 stepping sets by all members. 9 stepping sets. So we had 6 sequences in aerobic dance without the second style. Here we have 9 stepping sets. And we are looking for consecutive 3 sets. Evaluate is the same like the block. So dance style in aerobic dance, here consecutive 3 sets like the block of AMP. Consecutive 3 sets of 8 count, 24 counts. This should be done by all members on their own step. They don't have to change the platform, the step. They cannot move. They can do the choreography on their own step for 3 sets of 8 count. Formations, choreography must show a part of this consecutive 3 sets, must show the change of formation, variety with or with a step, without or with a step. And we show you example for 3 sets of stepping, consecutive 3 sets. So they don't change the step, the platform. Body orientation, yes, but not the platform. 3 sets change the step platform, so don't count as no 3 sets. Now they change the platform. This is not allowed in this, it's not a requirement in our 3 sets. They start in 1, they change. And they come back. We don't consider like 3 consecutive sets. And now high level of the routine, of course, we've seen high level of step routine.
I never look back at the things I've done. That's a pleasure. And you went on, but nothing can save you from your own heart. I'm just a bad de las bellas es corazón enamorado. Desde corazón soldado, sé que tu calor voy a soñar, pero aquí empezado el sanarán, esta vida cada en mi corazón enamorado. Dime todo amor te quiero, dime todo amor sincero, dime todo amor te quiero, dime todo amor sincero, dime todo amor te quiero, dime todo amor sincero.
So aerobic step summary, deviations from excellent. So the routine, if it's similar to aerobic classes, it's a deviation. No consecutive 3 sets, we reduce 0.5, like in block for our categories or aerobic dance style, reduce 0.5. Less than 9 stepping sets, 0.2 for each set. So we are consistent through all categories of our aerobic gymnastics discipline. Many movements are on the surface and less stepping, which is a big deviation. And formations are similar. So I'm really sorry I took you so much from your time, but artistic has changes. And I would like you to read the code of points, then errata. And if you put everything, all the corrections and clarification from errata in your code of points, and you go on STS and you watch these presentations, then you have to go to judge routines from all our world championships and world games. I think everything will be fine. For you for judges, when you have to do your online test for artistic, you only have to put your final score. You will have the practice test and you don't have to write each criteria, only the final score. And please be careful about AMP block, if they have or they don't have. So this will be important even for high level athletes, for high level routines. You have to be very careful. That doesn't mean you will go for the same scores as they had before, because this is a new code of points with new requirements. And I hope in the future to have a perfect artistry on stage and piece of art. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.